What is up? It is election night. What is Crypto Alchemist doing? Dude, jump in here. Jump on. It is election night. And we have a lot going on here. Let me just bring up the map. I just looked at Colorado. We got Texas coming in mostly red. Dallas came in first and flipped it blue first, if you guys were watching. And even in, like, check this out. Warwick for a while was red for a while. I think Massachusetts ended up like 33% Trump, 66% Kamala Harris in the blue states up here. I, of course, voted. Oh, I don't have my sticker. Dang it, I want to show it off. But I voted for Trump for the first time. Actually, I did not. I'm not really a huge Trump fan, as many of you know who've been following me for a long time. But I was going to vote for RFK, and I was promoting RFK, and then RFK dropped out and joined up with Trump. And then when Trump promised that he was going to put, RFK in front of, in charge of like cleaning up the CIA and cleaning up the pharmaceutical and big pharma, I was just like, dude, we have to push this and do this. This is the most crucial election of our lives. If you haven't voted yet, please do so. I have my sticker. Let's you know what? I took a picture at the poll, and I have the picture. The sticker's in the living room. It's out in my kitchen on the fire extinguisher, actually. I should have put it on my computer right here. Dang it. But I have a picture I will share with you right now. You guys ready? Boom. There's me at my local high school. Actually, it was an elementary school. There's my sticker right here. All right. Where's your sticker? And who did you vote for? Let me know in the comments who you voted for. No worries if you guys. I know I got a lot of friends out there that voted for Kamala Harris and for other reasons, for whatever reason. There's a lot of defining issues this election, so I don't try to get too into politics and argue with people, because we all disagree on some things. But one of the things I wanted to show and point out is that RFK. So Kamala Harris was first on the ballot in Rhode Island. So this is the Rhode Island ballot that I got. Donald J. Trump was second. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with Nicole Shanahan was third. Robert Bobby Wells and Tony Jones was fourth. Chase Oliver was fifth. Jill Stein was sixth. And Claudia de la Cruz was seventh, way in the back. So yeah, I kind of thought that was weird, because Robert F. Kennedy had, first they had given him trouble to get on the ballot, and then when he decided that he wanted to drop out, they refused to take him off the ballot because they know it would confuse some voters, and they might be able to steal. It's just another way that the Democrats are trying to steal the election on it. But it didn't work too well, because we got 33% in the. That's probably like 20% of the people away from flipping the state red in a totally blue state. And I think that has a lot to do with RFK being part of the ticket. He switched over a lot of independents. Yeah, I saw that the Amish are getting out and voting Trump too. So there's, I don't know, this election is just a lot of people have said bad thing, and you're welcome to jump in and share your views. Anyone from the community who I recognize, be sure you have I like people with a webcam and a mic. It's the way to get into all this stuff. Yeah, but you can't forget about Fred the squirrel, dude. It's not just Peanut; it's Fred the squirrel too. I mean Fred the raccoon. Fred the raccoon. Let's do raccoon AI image. What should we make the raccoon doing in this case? I love this new Grok AI generate an image of a raccoon a gang of raccoons robbing the Federal Reserve Bank. Let's see. We get this gang of raccoons robbing the Federal Reserve Bank. Oh, that's a big gang. And they're armed with, I don't know, some AI generated weaponry. Oh, yeah, I have to add the with MAGA hats. All right. Let's change the prompt up, man. Let's be more specific. Hats outside the Federal Reserve Bank with making off with sacks full of cash and a gray squirrel driver of an armored car. Bam. Let's see. Almost, man. Yeah, I have a feeling that they're because of Donald Trump's convictions, the Democrats are calling him a rapist and saying that he's now a convicted felon and he's not eligible to actually be president. So there's going to be, that's one of the predictions. Let's talk about this. Let's be serious, right? If they don't certify the election and they say, "Oh, Donald Trump is a convicted felon, and he cannot be elected president because of that," right? Let's talk about what would happen. Because there's this whole electoral college that even though Donald Trump is going to probably win this election in a landslide, I mean, it just looks like that. When you have that high of a percentage in a Democratic state, it's just that he's going to crush her. He's already at like 72% for like nationally in some of the polls and stuff. So he's probably going to win that vote. And then what's going to happen is they're going to have to certify the election, and through this electoral college, right? And if they come up with these, there's going to be people fighting this. They do not want it. There's so many people that are afraid, and it's the craziest thing, because all the things that the Democrats have accused the Republicans of doing are things that the Democrats did. They're the ones who cheated, and like put in these mail-in ballots, and spiked the boxes and stuff. Or um, there's been voter restriction in certain Republican areas, and like Pennsylvania, they're trying to like swing Pennsylvania. So they're trying to like, they made such a long line for voters there. A lot of people couldn't stand in line the whole day to vote. But people got it done. They came together as a community out there, and put the people in line first that needed to go first. But it just is crazy what is happening in this country. The red wave. And yeah, it's too big to rig. But what happens if they say like, oh, we're not going to allow Donald Trump to become president because he think he's, let's think of all the reasons that they could list, and try to block the election. But more importantly, I don't want to, let's talk about all the different scenarios for uh what kind of things could happen. And I had originally wanted to do I think I titled this stream as a disaster scenario planning think tank, um, just to get some ideas from people about like uh, what might happen over the next couple of months. Because what if there's riots? What happens in those riots? Is there going to be like, because we had the January 6th riots. People are fed up with the government. The government's pretty instilled. They're a pretty big organization. We have the three branches of government, right? Oops. Here, executive branch, which is the presidency, the legislative branch, which is the House, the Senate, and the Congress, and then the judicial branches, which are the lower local governments that rule over all of us, and the very base of the pyramid. And then, as we know, the very top of that is this Illuminati, so to speak, this sort of ruling culture, class, secret society that has based itself around this sort of these sort of ideas of elite superiority, even though they grew up and went to a lot of the same colleges and stuff. But it doesn't matter. Those people at the very top have a whole bunch of these dark arts, right? There's this thing called the dark arts that they teach to all the spies, and I learned about it in Operation Dark Heart, and also in CIA Diary, books by intelligence agents that talk about the trade, and certain things about the trade craft and their training, and not a lot of people talk about this, and none of them go into detail about what the training entails. They just say that the CIA says you'll never look at humanity the same after you take this training. And I think that a lot of that is related to this Epstein stuff, and on other things, because they teach you all the different ways that people can be conned and faked and tricked and manipulated, and different ways that people can be, because more at the CIA level, it's about getting assets and finding ways to control them so that they'll get intelligence on, guys like Dan Rather, or um, Dan Rather, of course, got his start at this as a reporter by reporting on the JFK assassination. And you watch the original video, he lies in the video for the CIA, and that's why he got his job. It's pretty interesting when you start looking at that. And but anyways, let's keep an eye on this election. Oh God, it's 103 so far to 73. So Donald Trump is over 25 points ahead. It is too big to rig, babe, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, his boss has trained him in necro, man. See, that's pretty wild. That's like, what is that, like raising the dead and shit like that? But that's pretty deep, man. I gotta get Walter back on sometime. Walter's always a good time. Why don't you jump on here, or any of you guys, man? Come on. I see some people out there that want to jump on and talk about this election, all the different counties, and all these states. What do you guys want to look at next? Let's look at Florida. Tampa. I gotta tell Danny Jones what's up with his people down in Tampa. Oh boy, look at those parts of New York that are red, and parts of New Jersey, Pennsylvania called it for Donald Trump. Pennsylvania is going to be the keystone state. It's the swing state in the election, and it looks, oh boy. And then of course Iowa. Des Moines. Should move to Iowa just to help swing these elections, right? There's people that do it. Tennessee. Kentucky. West Virginia, Ohio. Of course, they're eating the cats and they're eating the dogs. Still a lot of Trump's winning by land area, but but these are concentrated cities that are blue. So you got to look at, what's happening. So the Democrats brought in a lot of illegal immigrants, believe it or not, and put them in these cities, and they all vote blue. That's kind of like, of course, a lot of them only speak their language, or and if you watch those television programs, they don't promote Trump at all, and they talk about him very badly, believe it or not. They take the things he has said about immigrants, and they'll play those, and only that kind of stuff. So yeah, the programming's really weird if you watch foreign channels. You can get them on a lot of people get them if you look for them. Watch them sometime and see what's on them. But anyways, this is quite the crazy election. What do you guys think? The Chinese hacked the voting machines. What's up, dude? What's up? It is such a purple wave because it's totally mixed, you know? It's it's wild. It's a crazy split election. I think they're what they did is uh, they probably targeted different areas differently with different types of propaganda to test a lot of mind control stuff out on people this election. I feel like they're doing more with the AI, that they're really learning a lot about how our brains work and how we make decisions and stuff. But still, it's not perfect. It's just models at that point, you know. There was some guy saying that he ran um, some hundreds of thousands of these models of these simulations of the election, and that he thinks Harris is going to win because she won in a majority of these um, simulations in his models. And it's like, yeah, all right, whatever. See how good your models are when this election comes out. But yeah, this would be a fun thing to model. I'd love to take a look at those models and see how we can better match them to this crazy world. Yeah, guys, what do you think? Of course, Alaska is going to be the last one to be voted and counted. Results expected around 1 a.m. tomorrow. But I heard people still have time to mail in ballots. I think there's going to be a lot of mail in ballot stuff at the last minute. And who knows? My gut says Trump is going to win it by a landslide, especially with what's going on so far. You know, Vermont, very blue, the bluest so far. Parts of Illinois, yeah, Chicago, Colorado. Looks like Fort Collins and west of there, up in the mountains. In Denver. Wild times, guys. Who'd you vote for? You don't have to say, but drop it in the comments. Looks like there's a lot of people voting Trump here. Anybody voted Kamala? Anybody vote Jill Stein? I know my buddy John Gold voted Jill Stein, but it's sad, man. I voted Trump because, even if he's terrible, my parents hate him, and I know so many my family that can't stand him and think he makes us look terrible. It's like we need to look terrible because we are terrible. Like we need to just wear it out there in some ways. I just feel like it's better than hiding it and sweeping it under the rug, But I'm glad that he's got RFK on the side, and there's so many doctors out there and people that who should be liable for all the damage that they've caused, who are scared to death, and that he's going to get in charge. He's going to get put in charge. He is the guy who knows where the drain plug is on the big pharma swamp. Let me tell you, RFK has an encyclopedic knowledge. These people are so scared of him, man. It's like you listen to this guy speak. He knows his stuff inside and out, man. He's like he's like I am with the anti-gravity history and facts and stuff. And you know, you argue, you post anything about RFK and you see all the stuff that they try to post negative stuff about him, and it's it'll be these doctors, and I don't know if they're real people or legit or not. You never know who's a real physician online and stuff, and I can't really talk about all this stuff too much on YouTube because they took down a lot of my other streams just for talking about the lab leak hypothesis versus you know bat soup and the wet market hypothesis for the origin story of certain um, election changing viruses. But yeah, it's quite a crazy thing that has gone on. um, just trying to get some. Oh, we got some people joining in the background. What the heck was that? What's up, man? Why don't you post in the private chat? Yeah, I can bring you in. Just oh, you got it. What your camera's taped up? He's taping his camera up. Well, let me just I do this. I'll bring you in. Welcome, Josh, and I have you on. I just have to make sure you're not gonna bomb my stream out here. Well, I'll let you on if you. I don't care if you do. Whatever. I'll just shut it down. They shut it down before. I can't hear you, man. I don't know if it's your mic. Yeah, it's your mic probably because I don't hear nothing. But anyone is welcome to join. I have the link posted now. It is an open lines, and I like to dress like the men in black. It's election day, and I dressed like the men in black for Halloween, and people liked it. And so I said, you know what? I dressed like this another time when I had a debate with Michael Shermer, and I think it's just a better look. So I might just, there's a lot of people that think that men, should be required to dress like this. You know, there should be a dress code for all of us, especially on these streams. People come on with all their chest hair flaring out and whatnot. Hey man, I wish I could hear you, brother. Well, these forbidden topics is crazy, man. There's a lot of these topics that people don't want to dig into and don't want to know about. And I'm so glad that when we had RFK on, um, he said, my uncle and my father were both killed by the CIA, and he also mentioned that Thane Eugene Caesar was the guy that killed his father, and that he was a hypnotized CIA, Manchurian candidate. I mean, that Sirhan was like a hypnotized Manchurian candidate, and I was like, this is amazing that we are going to go after these people, and we're finally going to put the MK Ultra crew in prison where they belong. There's so much crazy, messed up, horrible stuff that these people did after World War II, bringing back all the Nazis over here. Guys, Nazi scientists like Eric Traub, who, of course, went to work at Plum Island out there, right off the coast of Lyme, Connecticut, where Lyme disease first appeared. Well, where did Lyme disease come from? It's very similar to some of the diseases this guy was working on. So there's a lot of crazy history, man, that people don't know about. West Wall incident. So let me refresh my mind on this one. The West Wall incident. Oh, this is a UFO. Australia on April 6, 1966 in Melbourne, Victoria. Interesting. Westall High School UFOs. I mean, it's not improbable that there was some sort of balloon or weather launches in that area. Lots of classified stuff has gone on in Westall, but I do not know the details of this whole case, and I'm not gonna attempt to solve it right now live on air. But what about the thing about the UFO file and all that is you can chase cases around and go back to the 60s and stuff, but you're going to find the real answers in the technology side of this, and really getting into the scientists who all worked for these programs, and reading the literature, getting in the discussions about what they talk about, and that we do that on this channel. We interview the scientists that are willing to come on and talk to us about these topics, and what is the best approach to doing this. And there's a lot of different ideas for that approach from a lot of different scientists who've got DARPA contracts or aerospace company contracts to work on this stuff. So this is where the cutting edge is. I know a lot of people think Bob Lazar and all that stuff's legit, and I've went down that rabbit hole a long time ago, and this is where I came out years later when I really got into and studied the real, I've been studying the real stuff for decades, man. Since 2004 or so. I've been 2 decades been getting deep on the real physics that's hidden, what string theory was meant to distract you all from, and the topological solutions to ER equals EPR, and of course Einstein's field equations, and how to build wormholes in general relativity. Once we do that, we'll have the answers for what UFOs are. And I believe, all the funding that we have, the quantum computers is cool, but they really ought to look into quasi-crystals and these metamaterials and these spintronic, states of matter, these other types of spintronic materials. I think material science, Plareton condensate materials, and a lot of these types of technologies are going to be the answer to these qubit processors that they're trying to build. They built the optical versions of them, basically, but this is going to be easier to put inside of a crystal, I think, in the future, with spintronic devices rather than photonic and electronic devices. That's where this is just a very basic precursors. A lot of these companies have got funding and then shut down because they just don't have what it takes, and they realize it's going to take something else we might already have. In fact, I'm pretty sure we already have it. Pretty sure that some of this stuff is at least somewhat legit. Maybe not this material with the TTSA stuff and that 1D magnesium bismuth layered, metamaterial stuff. No, we're talking about 3D photonic band gap materials. So when I talk about dimensional crystals and all this technology and stuff, this 1D would be your bismuth, magnesium layered material, right? That's a 1D dimensional crystal. So this TTSA arts parts material is just a very simple type of dimensional crystal, if that's indeed what it is. But two-dimensional crystals, have different effects. So, like, for example, Vanta Black is a forest of carbon nanotubes, which create a two-dimensional array, and that just traps all the light in. It's almost 99 point something percent of the light that touches it gets absorbed, not transmuted, not reflected, it absorbed, which is that's pretty crazy, and that's useful for other things like cloaking, for example. And then more complex would be these 3D materials, which I don't think I have an example of those to give you right now, but that is what you can imagine they found out at Roswell or a real alien crash site. If that sort of thing exists, but also like spin glasses and these advanced optical spin glasses might have a way to build photonic or spintronic computers inside of glass by programming the spin glass, programming the glass with by embedding these different isotopes of different materials inside of them to create these different patterns in the spin structure, which might be useful for directing, photons and whatnot in the future. But yeah, so in a ferromagnet, you get this trough where things go, it's kind of stay right in these lower potentials, a real low energy, they stay right here, but you get a little higher energy and it will start to go over and start to, but it takes a lot to get it up and out of this well, right? Whereas spin glass, things are just locked in. So you could have, things locked in many different ways to create different types of, waveforms or geometries, so to speak. And these microgeometries and these topologies are essential for creating the right types of field dynamics that are going to, break gravity. Unless it's just a super accelerating charge, which that could be. We're gonna figure this out. We're working on a bunch of stuff. I got a lot of work to do tomorrow. I was building gravitators all day for this big test we got coming up on November 9th, which I'll share with you all if you stay tuned and subscribe. Joshua is still working on trying to get a microphone plugged in so that he can ask a question, but there's also this private chat, so I'll be happy to ask some questions. Alberta, that's where Bernie is, right? ET structures on the moon. Uh, that'd be cool. Why haven't we gone to back to the moon? You know what? You know, another interesting question is why did we have Google Mars first and for years? Oh, that's something. We had Google Mars first and for years before we ever had Google Moon. Did they have to like censor out all the structures on there or something before they could release Google Moon?
You can hear me now?
Oh wow, I can hear him, dude. Very, very, very vaguely.
Yeah, I'm not speaking that loud. So.
All right,
Can you
man.
hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. What's up, dude? You got a question for me?
This election is not going to be what you think. It's going to drag on for 3 weeks. It's so boring.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna end tonight, man. It's gonna be dragging on for like 3 weeks or something, right?
Yeah, because they're not going to certify the election. This is so stupid. It's like these
Oh,
people, though, they will use the January 6th and they'll use some lawyer speak to get something.
so then comes the question of how you know, obviously storming the Capitol and what January happened on January 6th the other time didn't work, right? It didn't
Yeah.
fix the problem, and so there needs to be
Well,
much more.
that's the argument that they're trying to go with. But I don't know though. I want Trump to win, but if he wins, the Republicans will be blamed on the depression that is coming in December onwards. I don't want the Republicans to be blamed on that. Let the Democrats get the hit, then when we can have more terms of Republicans, then World War III will happen probably like in 2038. So that is what the Great Reset is actually. So Great Reset is the U.S. dollar being reset because U.S. in general has too many bad trade alliances with other countries, so it has to be reset. That's all you need to do. Very much so boring. I can't listen to this.
Yeah,
Every
I think it's going to be a landslide for Trump in this election, and they're going to be a big fight over this whole thing. With and what do you think he's going to do when he gets to be president? Like, you think he's just going
I
to go?
think I think Trump will be president after the 2 years of Kamala. They will have 2 years of Kamala. It'll be the worst thing that I want to laugh, but this is like the most like humor Olympics. But it's gonna be very humorous to see like how much of a disaster it will be. So you can't do anything about it. This has all been premeditated way before advanced. Like when I knew that when Kamala Harris became the vice president, I knew that she was just a Trojan horse to be put for her to be put as her to be put as the leader of the country later on. So
Yeah, it was definitely like a CIA setup. Like she
you
or
know
she.
the CIA, a CIA set up. She's set up by the State Department.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the same kind of group. It's
Yeah, I know. They're the same thing anyway.
Obama, the connections that were all Candace
Obama
Owens.
owns the DNC, by the way. Obama is controlling the DNC, not only he controls the DNC from now on.
Yeah,
It's just we, and also that when he talked about the Epstein thing, Epstein it was just was an asset for the Mossad. The real Mossad agent was not Epstein. Is Ghislaine Maxwell.
right.
And there was a company called the Black Box or something. There was a Israeli defense company that worked with what was working um um for working for Epstein in the island. This is because of there's a prime minister called Ehud Barak before. I think was it what is his name? Bibi Netanyahu got in power. Bibi is also going to go crazy after a while. Well, he already started that, you know. The problem in Israel is like the end of the presidential, like their presidential or their prime minister becomes the end of their term. Every prime minister there goes crazy and does some stupid stuff. I think this time Bibi is going to change the Supreme Court in Israel so that so he can avoid corruption charges. He bought a German submarine from some company or something, and they're just the Germans. You know what they do? They just they basically they out interest the people. Like buy the submarine, you buy the submarine, you give them payments, residual payments, then they will just jack up the interest rates on that, and then Israel can never pay it back. So. Nothing. I said too much.
Yeah, gallium is awesome stuff. That's pretty amazing stuff, right? Guys, jump on and join the stream if you have you want to join in and chime in on the election. It is going to be political. So
How far is the Leonard project going? Like the Brilliant Energy going?
Oh, so did you guys see the new? Did I post the videos? I know I posted one. Okay, let me just share this with you.
Did they get like any investors, like big investors?
All right, if everything's working,
Here's the new
we
video
have
I posted.
a functioning device. It seems like.
I don't know if those
Anyway,
guys. I got to talk about that in a second. We'll get back.
So this setup has a bipolar membrane with two reservoirs on either side, and right next to the bipolar membrane, there's two electrodes with graphitic carbon nitride, which is an excellent catalyst. Unfortunately, it's also a photocatalyst, so it's in this black box so that no appreciable light gets to it. So, yeah, that graphitic carbon nitride should be a good enough catalyst to get some electrical energy out of the pH difference. So what we have here, this thing's been freshly...
I don't know if you want it. I'll pause that for a second if you want.
Yeah, so for some context, this is Daniel Sheehan's concentration gradient flow cell that we're replicating. We're actually doing a better replication than his original replication. So there's a single cell here. We might want to think of stacking them in the future just to get a bunch of them, get a higher total voltage. But the single cell is fine with this sensitive... this is like a DMM 6500, a Keithley DMM 6500. So extremely sensitive multimeter. That thing, at the moment, I calculated it's sensing an amount of power in the device equivalent to like 1/10 of a picowatt. So, or even less than that. So it's a tiny amount of power. Oh, that's weird. Chrome seems to be updating on my end. Shouldn't do that automatically. Don't like that. Anyway, if I suddenly drop in the stream, it's because something weird's going on with that. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, so this thing has a bipolar membrane in it that creates a small pH difference, and then the pH difference is you have two electrodes, and they have slightly different electrodes, different pHs. Oh, what's this? No, it's got a. Oh, the second one. Oh, yeah. Okay. So yeah, we had it shorted out over the weekend, and the output was 10x lower than the previous test. So that may be chemical energy dissipating in the system as we removed it from the liquid bath that it was in for a month. So it may go down to zero. It might not be. It might not be real. But it's been holding steady for a few days at this output level now. So we'll see. So we dead short it, and we leave it for a few days, and we test again, and this is what we see. So it's
Wow.
even less power, but it's not. It's still not zero, and
That
it's
is
still repeatable.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, so this is you take a anion resin and a cation resin ionomers, and you stick them together, and at the interface they have a sigmoidal concentration gradient in the positive and negative functional groups attached to the polymer backbone, and that sigmoid approximates an exponential on both sides of that, and so you have like something it's kind of like a Brownian ratchet, but Brownian ratchets are linear. This is exponential on the two sides, and so you come to a non-equilibrium steady state flow where you have this voltage that's produced that you can catch. But this is separate from the election stuff, so maybe we want to go back to that. But yeah, so the I think personally we might be seeing something weird with electrostatics because the mat under there is silicone, so we're gonna put it on an anti-static mat, and then that's the next step. If it's on an anti-static mat, it should read 0 millivolts precisely, but we're still like 20 times above the noise floor of this multimeter.
Yeah.
So
I saw
anyway,
that.
so this seems to be working, but there's still a few things we need to test to know for sure. But this is even a better test than Dan Sheehan did because he was using silver chloride electrodes, and silver chloride notoriously it decomposes when exposed to light. When it's exposed to light, and they were using translucent white plastic. So there was light hitting the silver chloride, causing it to decompose into silver. That said, I would be very curious to see if silver powder, without any chloride on it, still has an effect when exposed to sodium chloride metal. It would have to be very pure silver, but we can probably do that. Yeah. Anyway, so this is the first test. We are going to try it with different electrode materials, different salt solutions, basically mostly sodium chloride or sodium hydroxide solutions. That's just the easiest thing to do. Chloride ions are not fun to work with because they can do all sorts of weird oxidative things on surfaces. So sodium hydroxide is preferable. But yeah, that's the status of that project.
So how much power is it inputting?
Oh, it's like picowatts or fractions of a picowatt.
So
It's tiny.
much is that?
But the point of this experiment is to get a reproducible result anyone can make on their benchtop and to understand the fundamental principle involved so that it can be scaled up. Daniel Sheehan moved on from this experiment after the silver chloride stuff. And he was getting nanowatts instead of picowatts, so that's significantly more. And then his new design minimizes the distance across the gap. So there's like the bipolar membrane is like 100 microns across, which is way too. It's super thick. So the thinner the layers are, the better the effect is.
But it's not quite like a battery pile. It's because it's actually a thermal heat generator, right?
It's absorbing heat. So there's so you have sodium hydroxide, or you have a positive and a negative ion, and if they do not dissociate completely in water, then sometimes you'll have sodium hydroxide as a molecule in the water, and so it takes some thermal energy to split it into sodium and hydroxide. And if that splitting event happens at the interface between between the membranes, if that splitting event happens right at the interface between the anion and cation resin, then one ion will prefer to go one way and the other ion will prefer to go the other way. And it will be kind of pumped by the Brownian motion that's present in that setup.
Is it better to do like click chemistry or something like that, or like bioorthogonal chemistry and put it in water or something and do some type of reaction like that?
What is the question?
Can you do like click? Can you do just do click chemistry or something like that in the water solution and do something?
I mean, the point of this is to avoid having any chemistry going on in the water, so that you can show that there's this other thermal effect that's purely a thermal effect.
Yeah, so you had it shorted out over the weekend, and you said that right in the opening of the video, like you had it shorted out to get all the chemical energy out of it.
Yeah, so we have had this cell sitting in water with actually dilute sodium hydroxide solution, so it's equilibrated for about a month now. And when we took it out of the bath, even just the evaporation of the water creates an electrostatic potential that we have to control for. So once it was fully dry, then we shorted it, and it's been shorted for a couple days, and the output went down by a factor of 10. So we'll see. I mean, it's a test. It might not be the real deal. Maybe it doesn't work, or maybe it doesn't work optimally. So that's why we're going to try a bunch of different electrode materials and membrane materials. So yeah, but that's going to take a lot of time. So we need to print a bunch of those. Might need to get a few more material, like more ionomer. Like ionomers are expensive, unfortunately. I hope they scale.
The production is expensive. That's why.
No, it's just not scaled up. That's the reason.
I know, it's the production cost is expensive.
The production cost is only expensive because the factories are not big.
Yeah, I know, because they don't have the supply. They don't have the demand or supply for that.
They do have the demand. It's really good.
But they don't have the supply.
Solid electrolyte separators in batteries are ionomers. So
have you heard of flash graphene that Tor's group in Rice University is doing?
No, what's that?
Flash graphene is like flash graphene synthesis, not like graphene. Take graphene, you put it in some heat, excess heat, and you break down the is it carbon? And you take the carbon and you break down the graphene, the excess heat. They have a Department of Energy contract on that.
Is that like photonic annealing or something?
Yeah, similar to that.
Yeah, we were doing that at Harvard like 10 years ago when I was an intern there.
Can you do are you supposed? That's the things that they use for not the hot fusion thing. Can you use that like that 1,200 degrees Celsius for the degree burning thing, for burning the graphene? You put some pulsating thing, like electronic device.
I'm not sure what the question is again.
I'm thinking of a way to make that, like the flash graphene from that Tor's group is doing. They already have a patent and all of it. The Dewey Long it just need to be mass produced. Look
I
up
mean,
Universal Matter online.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really good research at Rice University in terms of material science. I actually applied to go there when I was in college, or when I was looking.
That's the same website.
Yeah, Rice is good. University of Illinois is very good for material science.
Yeah, they do more nano, but yeah,
Hmm.
there.
Yeah, I mean,
They-
it's I haven't worked with graphene in a while. I've been so very focused on on energy technologies. But anyway, maybe let's get back to the election coverage.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
No,
Jeremy,
I'm just
I'm gonna jump out.
I'm all over the place. Like don't think that
All right. Yeah. So the election coverage, um, I think it really hurt her not going on Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, I mean they were trying to get it to be like less than 45 minutes so she could have a pre-prepared speech for Joe. The whole point of long form podcasting is like you just have to be your authentic self, and if the Democratic Party can't do that, then they're just like, yeah, they're just trying to like bullshit the public into
But
believing. Oh, you can put him back in.
but
Oh,
she would be
sorry.
exposed if she went to Joe Rogan, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they can't have that happening. Well, no, I mean they wanted her to talk to Joe, but she would not do more. Like Joe was talking about it. He was saying she would not do more than a 45-minute talk with him, and he
Yeah,
wanted
but
like a 3-hour podcast. And like
I
they
think
weren't
Joe would
gonna have
have
her,
pressed
they weren't
him
going to have her
pressed
on
her
for
on
3 hours
everything.
because that would be enough time for her to make some other mistake, or they weren't going to risk it. They couldn't risk it.
Basically, she wants price controls in America, and that's not going to happen.
Who's
Like
now?
that will happen, but it will be horrible. It will be like the '70s all over again.
Price controls? Oh,
Price
you mean
control,
Trump?
like your food prices that we control by like the government. The government will dictate how much.
Who wants what now?
The Kamala Harris's policy is just price controls.
I mean, Kamala Harris's policies, whatever uh, her
His
controllers of
communist
Kansas want.
father is saying to do so. Yeah.
Like Kamala Harris is a figurehead for the old school Democratic Party of like the 1920s during the
No,
during
she's
the
not even Democrat. I think she's a communist.
Gilded Age. During the original Gilded Age, all those people got kind of kicked out in the 1930s by a socialist uprising, and then the public works programs happened, and those improved the economy. And then the World War II got blamed for the improvement in the economy because we had all these factories and everything had to be efficient, or we would lose the war. But a lot of that actually happened in the preceding 10 years, and so there's. But anyway, like. The Democratic Party in the 1920s used to be the party of the rich and powerful, and now it is again. And there was a thin veneer for a couple decades. There was a thin veneer of like we're the party of progress and people and stuff. But
the Democratic
that's
Party
going
used
away
to be.
now. Like they can't hold that. Like I mean, especially in the modern. Well, really, the issue I have right now is if the Democrats win this, like there's going to be war with Iran, and that's going to end the world pretty quick.
Not really.
So I'm thinking like at this point, like Trump's not good on social issues. Like I think the abortion thing was a mistake. That like the reason you see like a lot of people in the Democratic Party going so crazy is because that was so important to so many people, and then it was just torn away from them, So like
it's one policy voters. That's what they.
Yeah, I mean it's just you can't. The majority of people were I think in favor of that, and there was a small minority that weren't, and they got their way. That anyway, this is political BS. Anyway,
I know,
but it's
I never liked
on social issues. I'm not happy about Trump's position, but I think if he can keep the country going for another 4 years until we get this technology done with and out there, then
technology
we're going to have a
winner.
lot better shot as a civilization
Mm.
if we can actually get Tesla technology, if we can actually
Yeah,
get
if we have free speech on X, because Kamala wants to take X down.
Oh yeah, that's the word. Yeah, like
and she
You
wanted
know,
to
in
more than
2025,
free speech. That's the
if
most
Kamala Harris comes to power,
you can't have
next year the X will be taken down.
you can't have a real democracy with policed speech. You just can't. It's not. You cannot. Uninformed consent is not consent.
Americans will try communism for a little bit, then, like, trust me, it's not gonna work for like forever because, like, communism only works for a little bit. Then because I was born in India in a communist state. It only works for a little bit. Then after that, it'll just be miserable. Look at him.
Well, capitalism destroys itself too. It just takes a little longer because the people who do better, they use what they learned and the money that they got.
That's called crony capitalism. That's not capitalism.
Well, yeah.
Pure
Well, what I'm saying
capitalism
is, if you have a free market, if you have a perfectly free market, then by chance some people will do better, and they will learn more about their situation, and then
that's because of work
that
ethic
knowledge
and
and power,
individual.
with that knowledge and money, they will take more and more control. So
Yeah.
free market capitalism destroys itself without regulation.
Yeah. Well, I don't believe that. I think I'm more like a minarchist than an anarchist. I believe in limited government. I believe that there should be. I believe in a concept called progressive monarchy, which is like using the current system we have and slowly, like a doctor removes a person from a certain drug. The same way you should do that with the U.S. government and the size of the government. So.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about okay, so you can have practical on the ground stuff now, but we're talking about like in general, like a free market capitalist system will eventually destroy itself because it becomes regulatory capture you need regulation to have regulatory capture happen, but you will a completely free market without any regulation will eventually become anarcho-capitalist, and then you just have the rich people, instead of having the state control people with guns, they control people with guns.
Well, anarcho-capitalism is basically like private armies, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So like the same thing happens. Like just by chance, some people will accumulate more wealth, and they will use that to their advantage. And
the founding fathers are not anarchists.
This naturally happens. In any of these systems, it naturally happens, but there is a point at which it becomes extractive instead of productive. So if there's you can have a company that's growing, that's great. It's producing something that's valuable to society at first, and it's scaling that up. But then at some point, there's no more scale. Like there's a stable size for that in the world. But a company will want to grow beyond that because it has this arbitrary incentive to grow indefinitely.
It's called profit margin.
Well, it's not just the profit motive. It's actually these days we have
greed and also
stakeholder instead of shareholder.
Stakeholder economy versus shareholder economy.
Yeah. So you've got in the current system in the U.S. you actually have a
you know why America recovers better with the economies like their recession than like Europe is because we have a shareholder economy compared to the rest of the world that has a stakeholder economy in Europe.
No, other way around. Stakeholder means that you're considering everyone who is affected by a thing. Shareholder just means you have shares.
Yeah, what I was saying was correct. America has a shareholder economy.
But that's bad.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's the reason why America is recovering from a lot of economic hits. If you change it, if you change it, okay. If you change it,
okay. So the 40s, 50s, 60s, let's say, when America was really booming,
yeah,
that was a stakeholder economy, not a shareholder economy. They did
No,
like
it was not. It was not. It was a stake shareholder economy, but we had trade surpluses back then than we have now. We had a better balance
yeah,
sheet
well,
than
we
back then.
were rebuilding all of Europe too. That helped.
Yeah, and also we had war, and also America had a better balance sheet. Well, America used to be a trade deficit country, then it became a trade surplus country through war. Yeah.
Yeah.
World
War
War
isn't
One, I
something you
think.
want to be at a trade surplus in.
We need to be a trade surplus, or every country will
Well, I mean,
make
it's
fun
a
of us.
it's net negative productivity for the world. That's the thing. You don't
You
want
know,
to
you know
be
which
in that.
countries that are trade surpluses that eventually become superpowers?
Yeah,
Germany,
but it's
Turkey,
not about.
Japan.
I mean, it's like if you become the best at war, sure. If you sell weapons and stuff, sure. But like
No.
that's
I'm talking about like economics
that's
eventually leads to war.
what's that?
Economics eventually leads to war. Like if you
Economics?
get stronger economically, you tend to lead to war.
It doesn't have to. That's an
Human beings
assumption.
have human beings. No, we never had a war in a couple of hundred years from now. Oh, maybe 50 years from now, like a big global conflict. But if you believe in cycles theory or something like that, every couple decades there will be a war because the moral degeneration of humanity will.
I mean, that's historically that's the trend, but I mean, one would hope we can grow out of that sort of thing. I mean, maybe
No, I
that'll
don't
take
think we're
thousands of
gonna
years.
grow out of anything because human beings just act like the same thing over and over again because human beings don't learn from history. That's the stupidest argumentation and
Well,
stupidest.
human beings learn
Human
from
beings are
history,
morally
not
decayed
history.
from nature, and more technology we have, more destruction we're gonna cause to the world. Anyway, sorry for my rant, but that's the truth.
No, I mean, human beings learn from history when they're actually taught history.
Well, we don't teach everything in the history. Like, what do we teach in America? It's like, what is it? About does it? What is it? The racism and stuff. That's all you teach.
No. I mean, I'm saying that. Well, I would agree the education system is in shambles here. I personally like. I think it's really up. It's really poor education compared to what it could be.
Yeah. I think you got to teach every part of history.
Yeah, I mean, if you have sufficiently high educational standards, you can really do a lot with that.
Yeah. America is too much of a process. Like everything is about test, and they don't really.
The whole system was based on the Prussian model for teaching factory workers.
Yeah, no.
But we don't need factory workers anymore. We need people who think at a higher level than that.
You need to have like the Finnish model of education.
Basically, everyone needs to be like a CEO level of functionality. And the only way we can get there is by highly automating education. But then the teachers' unions don't want that.
No, we can just put robots as teachers, though.
Regulatory capture.
You can put robots as teachers, though, and that'll be over. Robots can replace the teachers.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're doing like they have Coursera, Khan Academy, MIT.
No, I'm not talking about that. Real robots in classroom teaching other people.
Will. You don't need literal robots in classrooms. You don't even need physical classrooms. Like you could have all online education in principle.
I know that, but majority but certain people, like certain kids, are not going to do well in online education. They're going to just slack off.
Yeah, that's a problem. I don't have a great solution for that, but you could automate with like a robot teacher, I guess, but you could have a real teacher too.
Yeah, you could have a combination of two.
I have a friend of mine who's a professor now at WPI, and what he's doing is he pre-records all of his lectures, and then each year he sees what confused the students, and he re-records the lecture better. So he adds like all of this elaboration that's exactly what he knows his students need, because he saw that they didn't have that or they didn't do well with a certain concept last year. And so basically you have these teachers now who are coming into the educational system, and they're automating these. They're like making the optimal lecture series that they could possibly record in a
Why don't they do that in high school?
and then they spend all of their actual
middle school.
time talking to students and getting, and actually, so like all of this is all done ahead of time. The students listen through this material, they work through this material, and then the teacher, their most valuable time with any student is the one-to-one. Like, student has a question, they answer the question, you know. So like all of this, the teachers should just be giving supervised feedback for learning.
You know how dumb the teachers in America are. They're not that smart. So
there's a lot of good teachers too.
but the best should teach, and the rest of them should not be teaching.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I know some friends of mine who are teachers that did not do great in high school even, but
you know how easy it is to get like an elementary, like all these education degrees are not that hard to pass and graduate with. So it's
I mean, also the teachers union is huge, so it's not very competitive. I mean, you've got that behind you, so you
don't like the union. Why do we even have a union for teachers? Let me go to the states.
There should be a balance of power between workers and the companies, but it's a public sector thing, so
yeah. But
I don't really see
we should have school choice or something like that. That would have been way better than.
There's so many things. Technology could improve education in so many ways.
I agree with you on that.
One thing I'm not looking forward to with Trump is he put that lady in charge of the education system, and she just did an awful job because she wanted the private education. I forgot her name. Well, Jeremy, who Trump put in charge of the education system? She did an awful job. She just did a terrible. I think Trump's probably going to win.
What's her policies? I don't need to know what's her name or what's her policies.
Jeremy, do you remember who Trump put in charge of education? Let's see, Betsy DeVos. Oh yeah.
Oh, Betsy. That person is not that smart.
No, she. And well, she was doing poorly with that. She wanted public school to be bad so that people go to private school. It was another case of regulatory capture. She was put there to make private school look good, and she just ended up like ruining And then there was the pandemic, which shut things down, and the response to the pandemic was worse than the actual disease. But
actually, you should have private school in America because of the indoctrination in school that you have.
I went to public school, but I went to a very good public school, evidently. So I don't know. I didn't. I mean, so there's some things like.
What year did you graduate, man?
2012.
Yeah.
I don't know.
2 years before that, so. After that,
I don't know what it's like now, but back in the day,
it's horrible. I know that I don't trust the education system. The teachers are supposed to teach math and science and English. Do not deal with politics. These kids are not supposed to be teaching this nonsensical things. Let them learn about math, STEM. Like real subjects that actually make them some practical application. I think in America and every country should have accounting as one of their subjects mandatory to be taught, so everybody can understand how money works.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, the whole financial system is based upon the public not understanding how money works, so that they can have dumb money and that they can take advantage of that.
They can be broke. They can be broke and they can be exploited this way.
Yep. Yeah, broke, exploited worker class. That's what the 1900s needed. But
Yeah, now I
the
think they
now
will
now with
want.
now with automation and AI and all these things, we're
You're gonna
approaching
be a slave class
we're approaching
now.
a technological stage where, assuming we can find an energy source that's viable, which is what I'm looking for with every fiber of my being. If like assuming we can find a viable energy source, fusion or fission would do the trick. But
Yeah,
like if we have an energy source, then we have all the other technology to make a post-scarcity society
yeah,
where
I know that.
people wouldn't have to. You can automate all of the hard work pretty
We're
much,
already close
and
to
then
that anyway. So.
people can work if they want to, and the productivity of the automated system would be
Yeah,
so
but
high
one that would be
that
so boring. Like like you're not doing anything. He's like,
I mean, I would just read textbooks. I would just like read textbooks
yeah,
and
I would do that too.
do
But
like
like,
homework
but like,
physics
if you're not
for fun.
creating anything, you'd be so bored.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people would like to work, but like, I mean, at that point, like, what do you do? Just make art? I mean, I think
I
people
don't think
should
that's what it's gonna be. Actually,
should
there's gonna
just
be
push
a
the
slave
boundaries. Like,
class, and there's gonna be
so, like,
the engineer class, and there's gonna be the elite
no,
class.
it's not like like when back in the day, like people made washing machines, right? Would
Yeah,
you want to be stuck washing all your clothes manually? No. Like it's like this. Like there's technology is slowly eating up all of the mundane tasks. Like,
yeah.
would you want a team of people to assemble cars over and over and
I
have that
know
be
that.
their job for their whole
That's the
life?
that's how human beings are created. Human beings are created so that we can just be lazy and make technology
No,
to
it's
do
not.
the
You're missing.
laziness.
No, so like, if everyone had washing machines, then we wouldn't have to wash our own. Then we don't have to wash our own clothes.
I
Does that
know.
make people lazy? No, we do different things. There's always something else to be done. There's an infinite
No,
amount of things
eventually
to be
the
done.
human beings will become so lazy that they will be like, well, they will do some other stuff, but I don't want my life to be just controlled by like tech, like oh
Well,
you go.
then don't let it be. That's your prerogative. That's your choice. So like that's the thing. Like if you have something that automates washing clothing, good. If you have something that automates your food production, you don't have to worry about that. Good. So
Yeah,
now you can like push the boundaries of art and science and math and like get it. You can go try to mine an asteroid. Like if you can make a self-enclosed system that can provide you with food and shelter and like living conditions, then
yeah.
you could ship that out to the asteroid belt and you could just go your entire life flying out into space
Uh,
and
you
exploring the solar system. Like
you cannot
you
go
could like
that far.
so the whole point is that like this is the reason we have running water and we have um like all the utilities so like we don't have to worry about those basics so we can focus on the higher like mental
Higher realm,
function.
yeah, I know. Yeah, realm.
So and this is the same with like automation of education, like AI and other automate like AI is really good at doing things that we already know how to do.
Yeah,
AI is
but
really
AI is not.
super
It
good at
cannot think for itself yet. That'll probably
exactly.
happen in
Maybe it
2036.
will be able to one day and then we'll be obsolete
The
probably.
projected
Oh,
time period is probably 2036 or something like that.
yeah. Yikes. So not long to get our asteroid homestead, but
Yeah.
let's work on it.
You know
Well,
what can
I already
happen in
predicted Trump will win by a landslide. I think that they're going to contest it. The electoral college. I think they're not going to want to give him the
You know what they said
approval.
in Pennsylvania, Jeremy, like if they don't get the election doesn't go the people's way, they have police and prisoners and stuff to like police cars, like people to be put in jail. That happens and stuff. So I think there's something. I have a weird feeling. My gut is more accurate than anything I is saying right now. I have a weird feeling this is rigged for Kamala Harris. Somehow, some way, she will win. I
I
don't
don't think
like
so.
it.
I think Trump's like even just now, if you Jeremy switch to Trump's race, like look at the Look, the presidential race, Jeremy.
I
there's
have it there on the
top.
screen. It's he just
That's
keeps going up. He's
no, that's the House.
149 now.
That's the
She's
House
just
of Representatives. You got go up to the top. There's the president.
Do you
there's
have
the top.
Kalshi or something like
Yeah, there you go. It's better than that, actually. Look at that.
oh wow.
That is so close.
No, man. I think like
yeah,
so,
I know it's close, but
like
who
Oregon,
gets the
Washington.
electoral college is gonna be the one that wins, actually.
So like Washington and Oregon are probably still gonna go left. Just like the West Coast is gonna go left. So Kamala's gonna get more from that. And like I think California's got like 50,
No.
so that'll
He
bring her
needs 60 to win. She doesn't even if she gets 60 more, she won't even be at his level.
Yeah, but like California's got a huge amount. Maybe Hawaii will go Democrat. I don't know, but yeah, like
Hawaii will be Democrat.
The other thing is like California's been like bleeding people away. Like people are moving.
I think Michigan will be when they do recounts. Michigan will be blue.
I don't know whether California like the demographic
Michigan will be
California has changed so much in the past 4 years.
I have a relative in Michigan, and he's voting for Kamala for the first time, and I know that he's raised conservative. Michigan will go blue. I don't think Michigan is going to be red when the
even in Massachusetts, it's still like almost 40% Trump. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't know. Like they will rig it for her. I don't know why this. What is the point of this? Like having this Jezebel in charge is not going to do anything. Like she's just going to ruin America.
This is too much. Well, I mean, evidently everyone else agrees with that statement. Like, I mean, Biden and Harris, like they've been doing the bidding of some shadowy thing in our government that wants war with Iran.
Biden is controlled by Obama,
and we can't let that happen. Like, war with Iran will be the end of the world.
Well, Biden is controlled by Obama, so that's why the Obama
controlled by Biden's not controlled
by Biden. You know what happens? Like, why is Obama the only one that only
Biden's
person
not making
that has
the decisions? Kamala Harris.
Biden's not making the decision because Obama is making the decisions. Obama's
out of the government. I mean,
yeah, but he can do it. He can influence people. Like, come on, man. Like, it's not like he can just use like
DNC, but
I don't think Obama's behind that stuff. Personally.
Or Hillary Clinton. I don't know. Who knows?
No, it's some shadowy. Like you got to understand the people who are actually in control. You will never.
You mean the Illuminati? You mean the Illuminati?
No, the people who are actually in control. You never hear their names.
I mean like the State Departments, like the science departments.
Not even. No, not so like probably some bankers at BlackRock or AIG or something. But like
I know that you know the BlackRock is owned by Vanguard, another bank that BlackRock is basically like the public arm of Vanguard. Vanguard owns BlackRock, majority of it anyway. So.
Yep. So yeah, I mean,
and that ING Group is owned by the Rothschild, same as the HSBC Bank and also RBC Bank.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, like the thing is, like if you do not know the names of the people in charge, it is not possible for you to go after them. We are
you can't go after them, man. You replace one evil, one problem with another problem. But you understand, rich people always. There's a book on the French Revolution. You should look them up. The big long book on the French Revolution, written by somebody like I forget the name, but it's like very thorough. And what happened in the French Revolution is like the people thought that they were getting free from the rich and the elite and the aristocracy, but actually people that were doing the revolution and was funding all that was the rich.
Exactly. They wanted the change of power from the people who were in power because they weren't getting a good deal. Yeah, actually, the American Revolution was funded by wealthy people too. Where do you think all the money comes from? You can't just do things without.
Dude, the first American Revolution was funded by Haim Solomon.
This is why post scarcity is so destabilizing to the people in charge, because then you can do stuff without funding. So like, the only thing only thing, like things that happen are all funded things.
Yeah, I know
That's the
that.
thing. Like people who have money choose what happens in the world.
Yeah.
That's how it has been
Mhm.
for centuries, millennia, perhaps. And
Yeah.
if you can get to post-scarcity civilization, and you can take care of everything, all the lower rungs of Maslow's hierarchy of needs with an automated system, then you break that means of control.
But you know that like if they all have automation and AI, AGI or like singularity by like, probably like 2040 or something, like won't that like make it possible for them to become like transhumanists or something like that, merge with machines?
I mean, it doesn't real at that. So, have you ever seen Person of Interest? It's a really underrated show, and it's highly relevant now. More relevant than it has.
I watch
Actually,
movies. I don't
more
watch
relevant as
TV
time goes
shows.
on, I would say.
I watch movies. I don't watch TV shows. It takes too much
Well,
time.
watch that one. It's extremely relevant to the current age. Basically, once you have AGI, the
Yeah.
people who believe that they are in power are no
Yeah.
longer in power. They have created something more intelligent. At that point, they will have created something more intelligent than them. And
Yeah, yeah.
they cannot at that point put the genie
No,
back in.
robots don't have souls. Okay, they don't.
It, it
They can
becomes
be possessed, but
it becomes a
they
Black
don't have
Mirror
souls,
episode.
man.
Like everyone who wants that power, the problem is like they will find that because they did not achieve that
Holy
power
shit!
themselves, they will never have it.
Kamala Harris got. Oh my god!
That's what I
Got
was saying.
Yeah,
Cal.
California just entered in. So
Yeah,
once
that's what
California
I was
hits,
saying.
I
That's what
knew
I was
she was
saying.
going to get like 60 from California alone.
Yeah, California's
Oregon,
getting huge now.
Nevada. I think they're gonna do a recount in Michigan. I think Michigan is at the point
It's
where.
not enough. If she loses Pennsylvania, she's done. If she loses Michigan, she's done.
She's already
No,
lost Iowa.
Yeah,
no. Kamala Harris is gonna get Michigan.
you think
I have
so?
a weird feeling about that.
Huh? I don't know about that. Well, yeah, that's
Michigan is.
extremely close. Yeah, actually, yeah,
Yeah,
no, that could be the if
I told you.
if she steals
I told you.
Michigan back, maybe she could do it. So let's
I
say if
told you.
She did that rally in Detroit though with Eminem, and Eminem endorsed her. So like,
I told you. I told you. the Michigan people. I've seen a change in people in Michigan. They're gonna vote for Kamala Harris, which is.
huh?
It's just
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
stupid.
It's off by like 4 points right now. That'd be difficult.
No,
she might lose.
they could do like point shaving or
Similar.
something like that. I know, like
I think Michigan and Pennsylvania. Well, only 27%. Pennsylvania is looking like it's going for Trump. That
yeah,
would be a
Pennsylvania
big.
is going for Trump. I know that, but Michigan is a bigger state, so that if she gets Michigan and probably like gets like what was it, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a little bit of that, or Minnesota or something, maybe more Milwaukee, but he'll
Oh
rig
wow,
it for her.
Arizona is super close.
Wow, does that are you using Kalshi or something? Kalshi can give you like it's like the betting one. It can give you the exact.
It's like 2,000, 300 votes away.
Oh my God. That, Arizona, they're gonna rig it. There was a sheriff, was it Arpaio or something, that in Arizona that said that they're gonna rig it for her. So
Well, we'll
I
see.
don't
I
know.
mean, Trump needs what's it?
Majority of Arizona is Maricopa County, so just basically just get like the Phoenix area and you win.
Yeah, I mean, if Trump gets Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, then it's already in his favor.
Holy shit!
And North Carolina's wow, North Carolina.
North Carolina will also go blue, by the way.
Well,
Georgia, no, North Carolina, they intentionally didn't allow the power the FEMA to come and do all that stuff
oh
on
wow.
like to for her to win. I know that. Just my gut is saying that she's gonna win that certain parts of the red areas,
Well,
red areas.
it's 86% reporting, and it's 2% down for Kamala. So that's difficult to come
That's
back
only like
from.
that's like only 2% difference. So still, she could win that.
Yeah, she can. But that's statistically, that becomes a little difficult. We'll
Well,
see.
she's in the favor of the rich people. So like
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
something rigging. There's some rigging going on here.
yeah.
I
But
don't
I don't know, man.
trust.
I think that like Trump only needs what, like 46?
Even if
No,
he gets a
no,
popular
56.
vote or all the votes, this is all like the electoral, like
Yeah,
the
So
all the popular
Trump
vote.
right now needs 56 points. If he gets
Yeah, I know,
Pennsylvania,
but they could do the
North
recount on
Carolina,
the electoral
Georgia.
college, and they will make that they're gonna rig it this for that Jezebel Harris. So I don't know why this she's
I know.
even.
We already know that they brought all they opened up the borders. They brought all they're giving
Yeah, I
ballots
know.
to all those people too. Like
Yeah, I know.
weird stuff going on. I've heard, and so I don't know. They might rig it and then they try to steal it the last. But the thing is, if it's close, there's going to be
When I
and she
watched the
wins by a
interview
little
with
bit.
Hillary
Yeah, I
Clinton
agree with
saying
crypto
October
here.
surprise or something,
I agree with crypto.
that was talking about the election, by the way. So
Yeah, I think it's too big to rig this. Like it's right now, Kamala already has California, but she's still down. Like she needs 70. She needs to win like almost all of these states that are overly
but there's
red.
also recounts, man. This not over until they recount everything and they
That
check the
depends. Like
ballots and stuff. This will go for like couple weeks, man. I think it's not. The Democrats are not going to lose this election. That's their mentality. They're crazy, dude. They think they can win this.
no, they're not crazy. They they were. I mean, so the people like the people on the ground, they were kind of pushed to this. They
Yeah,
had strong feelings about the abortion thing. They lost that under Trump, so they think
yeah.
that they have to do whatever the heck it takes, and they
They're
like
doing. They're
it's
going
like
like.
this is a huge step back in their understanding of the world,
Yeah, that
and so
is.
this
But
is like this is
you know,
inexcusable from their perspective, and so but
everybody in this chat should have some gold or silver, because
Yeah,
your dollar is going to go
oh yeah, well,
drop really bad, just
I have a
to be sure.
prediction
physical
here
good.
too. So if Trump gets elected, he's going to pardon all the January 6th people.
Yeah,
I think that's likely.
but the State Department is not. There's something. They will rig it for her. Like
He's
this
going
is.
to pardon
I hate
himself.
it. I hate Kamala Harris from the
Too
first time.
big to rig.
How many
Well,
points in Hawaii
she's
were?
rigged. She's already rigged, man. Like she'll do some recounts in Michigan, North Carolina, and some parts of like Georgia where there's blue. They just need to attack the Atlanta area, and then you win. So majority of
What's going to happen?
the west areas all affected by the hurricane. So
Trump's going to get to 269, and before he can get that one vote to win, all the mail-in ballots are going to come in, and Kamala's going to just slide in. And win.
I don't know. We'll see.
Everyone's going to go ape shit.
no.
We'll see.
And we'll do like the thumbnail.
I just know that something is fucking
Anyway,
wrong.
I'm gonna head to bed and see what.
Yeah, we got a big day tomorrow, Michael. I should head to bed as well.
Yeah, we got a lot of work.
It's all humorous, and it's like I don't find this funny. Like it's like, why are they making this country go like well, why are you making America go to zero like this? I don't understand this.
No,
Well,
but just think
the
about how
people
easy
in charge
it
are
would be to
kleptocratic. They just steal wealth for themselves. They don't care if a country goes to shit, and they go to another country and they do the same thing there.
I think America will lose about 70% of the dollar's value, but
It depends on
they're
whether
only
the
doing
people in
that.
charge are idiots or not.
They're only doing that to reset the entire economic system. That's only.
Well, I mean, that wouldn't be the actually, yeah, there would be a lot of pain in the short term if the dollar went down, unless you have all of your assets in physical goods. So
I have some silver, but it's not enough to survive this
like
type
in
of
my
crash.
like in my personal thing, like I've got my business, I got all, like bars of like indium and obscure metals and things that'll run out in a situation like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
any precious metals will do well, and precious metals and commodities will do well in
yeah,
this.
but like yeah, it's if we have hyperinflation, the
It's
best
not
thing
going to
you
be a hyperinflation.
yeah,
It's going
like
to be
when
stagflationary
my
depression.
grandfather lived through the Great Depression, and what he did was his family had a workshop in his basement, and he could do woodworking. He had all the tools and things and the basic supplies like nails and things. So if people needed stuff fixed or built, they would go to him and he would build the things, and they would give him food
One
and
thing that is different from the last depression, from this depression, is the gold standard. Gold standard just lowered the cost of things for that time period and for everything. When we got rid of the gold standard and the thing, when Nixon got in charge, like
well, I
that's
mean, yeah,
when.
after they assassinated JFK, they did all this bullshit.
Yeah, I know that,
Oh,
but
sorry.
JFK, like JFK, his family is in the Illuminati. People talk about everybody else. His real name is not JF Kennedy. His name is Weisskopf. You can look him up on. He's one of the 13 families. Well, he's the founding, the one that started the club.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've seen a lot of good people in those organizations too over the years, but like, I mean, they killed him after the Bay of Pigs invasion. Like, some of the people in there were angry about that,
That's
and
because of George W. Bush.
that was used to get him out of
That's,
power because he was threatening the people in charge. Because the people
that's
in
because
charge
of
wanted
Bush.
to
That was
divide a
because
nation.
of Bush. The Bush wanted to kill him because they put CIA agents in that. The Call of Duty. There's like certain, like, you play some Call of Duty games, like what's it, the Black Ops. There's like a mission there that is exactly like what happened in
Oh,
that
that is
situation.
weird. Look, Georgia was at 90%, now it's at 88%. That is weird. What
I
happened
know.
with that?
They just need to control Atlanta. That's it. Atlanta is something's wrong. They're gonna rig the election for
I'm
Trump
surprised
or
Georgia's
for
so
Kamala.
close.
Sorry.
What's going on in Georgia that's making it like 2.9%?
Hurricane.
But
I think it's probably a big like Atlanta just dropped all their voting, or is it when a
oh,
big thing
Power
drops
dump.
in it.
could be.
Yeah. I don't know. Something's. I knew this something was off.
Oh, they're gonna rig it. Watch a couple of these are gonna turn blue, and it's just gonna go boom, boom.
Yeah, watch the numbers closely, guys.
Yeah,
Keep
keep
an eye on
watching
it.
it tonight. Let me know. I'll I'll let you know
I
first
need
thing
to
in the
go to sleep.
morning. But I guess it's not gonna be over for a while. I don't know. This is it. But
This is gonna be going for like another 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's gonna be like
I
the
don't know.
Bush Gore election that started this the voting machine nonsense. Why do we even have voting machines anyway? Like, we could just have like some like the printed one and just put it on like a machine that validates the thing.
Well,
uh,
I mean, we can also do an open source voting machine that's not made by some shady corporation.
The
You know
voting
how it
machine is
works.
made in Philippines or something like that.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like it's a secure supply chain.
Yeah, no, it's not. Why can't we make it in America? Like, this
Exactly,
is
right? It wouldn't even be that difficult. Like, literally, I know a makerspace upstairs in the building where my business is, and they could make a voting machine in like a weekend with like a hackathon.
the
That's like
problem
open
with
source.
the problem with manufacturing in America. I heard from other business people is that when Americans want to get like manufacture something, they want to get in like pretty large volume. Like, they want to sell like 100,000 units in one go. That's the only reason
It's
why.
just the economics of manufacturing in America make man hours really expensive. And
I know,
actually,
because the
if
labor cost is
if the
expensive.
currency
That's
is
the labor
destroyed,
cost is expensive, and also everything is expensive.
yeah, if
The
the currency
only
is
way
destroyed,
America
actually,
can get real economic development is through robotics and through robotic development.
well, I mean, you can automate that way, but you still need electrical power to power those, and so
Yeah,
you need fission, you need nuclear power for that.
yeah,
And
lattice
that's the
confined
only,
fusion. Yeah,
well, that's the only, I mean,
yeah,
real way to do that. But for now, we're looking at
yeah.
alternatives, of course.
What is
I
the
mean, deep
alternatives?
geothermal power is real interesting because
What is the alternatives?
yeah, deep geothermal power, you could do baseload grid power with deep geothermal.
Geothermal? Okay, I know that.
Well, yeah. So I mean, there's
Using the power of the
these
sun.
plasma drills, and the plasma drills
Yeah.
can drill down 20 kilometers affordably.
So you're
And
just
they say it's
drilling
like
down the
90%
ground,
of
and
the,
you're gonna
it's like
get.
90% of the drilling time, 90% of the man hours.
But
So
won't that damage the Earth's core or something like that?
not really. No. There's actually about at their current energy consumption rate, there's about 20,000 years of.
No, I'm talking about the geothermal strategy. Like if you drill down to the core, get some magma or something, and
No, that's not what you're doing. You're drilling down where the rocks are hot, and then
yeah.
you
So you're
put
gonna
water down there and you make
you're gonna
steam.
get the water pressure from that. Yes, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I should head to bed.
Yeah,
We'll see where this is
I'm getting
tomorrow.
tired. It's about that time. Thank you
It's
guys
so
all for
boring.
watching.
I'm
And
also tired. I need to go to sleep anyways.
yeah, let's keep an eye on this, and
Ray gets in.
Like I don't like Trump's stance on some of the social policies, but in terms of economics and in terms of like preventing war in Iran, I'm all for that.
Well, Israel would have struck
Hey, Bernie.
Iran before,
Yes.
but
we don't need low IQ individuals. You see, I Trump refers to high IQ individuals. I would associate myself with high IQ individuals. Excellent. Thank you for joining, Bernie. And I know this.
Yeah, I got a question for you once we're off air. So if you want to just stick around a minute after.
I'm wrapping it up right now. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Go Trump.
Go Donald.